The first time my boss made a pass at me at work, I didn't know how to handle it, so I just pretended as if I didn't get the message, and he also acted as if it never happened. I thought that was all, that he understood that my silence was not because I was a coward, but because I wasn't prepared for any sort of unofficial gestures from him, and also because I held him in high esteem. I hoped he understood that I was not the type of girl who slept around with her boss. But no, he didn't understand, or simply put, he chose not to, because he did it again. He requested I come to his office this time around to explain a document that I sent to his email earlier that day. The atmosphere in his office was a bit intimate when I got in. And when I started explaining the documents that he called me for, I could bet that he wasn't even following. His gaze kept alternating between my lips and my chest. And by the time I finally landed, he wasn't aware until I had to clear my throat and tell him that I was done explaining. Then he said with an unusual kind of softness in his voice, "You're really beautiful, and I think I like you," making it verbally clear that his interest in me went beyond professional boundaries. His words hung in the air for a couple of minutes, and he was waiting for my reaction. While I was unsure of how to react or respond, his gaze still remained on my face in a way that made me feel uneasy, and all I could think of saying at that moment was, "I'd like to return to my office, sir." I finally decided to tell Lara, my only office friend, when we went for lunch, that director, as we always called him, said he liked me and he wanted to have something intimate with me. And when I landed, I couldn't even believe the kind of response that she gave. I expected her to share my concern or even anger, but she didn't. What she said was, "You said you be fine girl now. See yourself. Have you seen yourself in the mirror lately? Have you seen your packaging, girl?" She said it as if she was making light of the serious situation. I believe she was joking, so I told her, "Stop, Jare," until she said again, this time with a casual shrug, "I can't blame director. I can't blame him for wanting a fine girl like you for himself." This time, a nonchalant response hit me in the chest like a blow, and I didn't like that it did. Wait, are you being serious or you're still joking? He's my boss, my employer, our employer. Plus, he's married with a kid, or have you forgotten? So? She questioned, almost even before I ended what I was trying to say. "Forget that one, Jare. Do you know the number of girls in that office that would die to sleep with the director if only he looked at their side? A young, fine, successful man like that. Director does not give anybody face in that office, so you too, you know it. You know he's always over serious. Now he's showing interest in you and you're doing like a baby." She said all of this, as if she was rebuking me, as if she was even going to shout at me anytime soon. "I didn't like your saint. Are you a virgin?" she said, as if it burst out of her mouth. But he didn't. She wasn't the kind of person that spoke before thinking, so she knew exactly what she was saying. "Answer me now. Are you a virgin? I bet you weren't sleeping with Scully in the two of you with it." And that was not even giving you anything. "Director will take care of you. I swear to God, he will take care of you. Money will stop being your problem. Hey, she's gay." She brought her stone down, and she even brought herself closer to me so I could hear her clearly. I wasn't expecting all of these things from her. What I was expecting from her was to remind me of the risk of dating a married man and a boss, but instead, she was encouraging me to do it. Honestly, I felt a rush of disappointment in that moment. "Can you do it? What you're asking me to do? Can you do it? Can you sleep with the married man? Can you sleep with him?" I asked all these questions in a single breath. I don't sleep with married men. But if the married man that we're talking about is director, I'll consider it too. I took a deep breath, a deep, disappointed breath, and I decided it was best to just change the subject. You know what? Let's just forget about it, I said. trying to keep my tone light. That was the best I could do for us to end this conversation. After all, I was the one who brought it up. It wasn't what disagreeing over. Even the director that we were talking about wasn't even there with us at the place where we were having lunch. So it was pointless. It was somewhere in the boardroom discussing with some investors who were entering the office while we were leaving for lunch. I glanced down at the smartwatch on my wrist. The only birthday gift that I took out of the relationship with Skunley that she just reminded me of. And I said, we should probably just be heading back to the office. She sensed the shift in my mood and she nodded in agreement, and that's how we went back to the office. The following day, I had an accident on my way to work. The danfo that was taking me lost its brake and it ran into a gutter. I was thrown forward and I hit my chest on the seat in the row in front of me. When I rescued myself from the bus and I finally caught my breath, I texted the office to let them know that I just had an accident and I will be going to the hospital to take care of myself. At the hospital, the doctor said that I could go home after I carried out some examinations and administered some drugs. That afternoon, I was lying on my bed with my hands around my nearly broken chest when I heard a knock on my door. I gathered the strength I had to stand up, managing the little pain that remained in my chest from the accident, and went to the door. It was the director. Ayinla, the company's driver, brought him to my house. Ayinla knew my house. He had taken me home once when I became ill at work, and the HR instructed him to take me home. At the door, I stood there, surprised. The director was in my house. In that moment, honestly, I would have felt like I was the best employee of the year, and maybe even screamed that a old director had come to my house to check up on me, if it were those times that I still held him in high esteem. So I greeted him. Good evening, sir. He asked if he could come in, and when I said he could, he stepped in. Ayinla went back to the car to wait for him. Inside my self-contained apartment were just my bed, my full-length mirror, my standing fan, my wardrobe, and my big photo frames that hung on the wall. I didn't have a television set. I didn't have a chair either, so he sat on my bed. He said he didn't want anything when I offered him water. I knew he wouldn't want it though. I offered him a sachet water when all I had seen him drink in the office was bottled water or water directly from a dispenser. He asked about how the accident happened and what the doctor said when I went to the hospital. Then he gave me a complimentary card. He said it was his car dealer's card and that I could go to the address on the card tomorrow and pick a car of my choice. I'd like to buy you a car. Nobody needs to know, he said softly. It felt like I didn't hear him well. You'd like to buy me a what? A car? You're a very hardworking guy. I see the dedication you put into your work. And I can't allow any harm to come near you again. Not even in the cost of you transporting yourself to the office. And like you know, I have feelings for you. I can't hide it anymore. After letting him know that I couldn't do what he was asking me to do, I returned the complimentary card to him. I fought the urge not to call Lara after I finally left, to tell her that the director was at my house and he said he wanted to buy me a car. We had spoken on the phone when the news of my accident got to her, and she had promised to come check up on me after work that day. So I changed my mind. Maybe I will tell her when she comes, I said. But I ended up not telling her when she finally came around. I already knew what she would say. She would tell me to go back to tell him I would collect the car. It was obvious from our last conversation that we were not on the same page regarding this matter. That night, I didn't sleep. A car. Like a car gift for me. Ha, God. Because I had an accident on my way to work. Wow, just like that? But after a while, I told myself that I did the right thing by rejecting the car. That I didn't want to be one of those girls who jumped at married men because of what they could offer them. And it was not just about being a married man alone. It was also my boss.